What is that?
It's my custom lightsaber.
Dude, does it like shoot? Does it retract?
No, there's a blade right back there. If you see that black, oh, sorry, right there, that black sheath right there. There's a blade
Oh,
that you can put into it, and yeah, it's fantastic. There's a tooth. There's a little belt clip, and it's amazing. I love it. Well,
I,
it's
th-
not making
I
noise
think it's
right now.
safe to say that you like Star Wars just a little bit.
Yeah, just a little bit. I even built a stand over COVID for that.
Can I see it?
Yeah, it's not great, but yeah,
That's sick. Dude, you built that?
I built that.
That's awesome, man.
I'm working on painting that. I got to get the right color and everything, and I'm gonna make it cool designs like are actually on the saber. If you look, there's all those little like swirly designs. I'm gonna put
Yeah,
that onto the stand.
that's sick, man. So
Yeah.
so I gotta ask you, since you are a big Star Wars fan and you've been going to Disney a lot, how do you think Disney's done once they got a hold of Star Wars? Have you been pleased? Have you been upset? What's your take
Oh,
on that?
oh my God, Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland. It's amazing.
I
It
haven't
is.
been since like before like the I haven't been since before Tower of Terror was
Became
changed into.
Guardians of the Galaxy. Oh my
I
God,
haven't
you
been in
haven't
so
been there in a
long, man.
while.
Yeah.
They even added like Avengers Campus, which is a Marvel themed land. Did you go to Cars Land?
I've been to Cars Land. That I
Okay,
have been.
okay. But yeah, they added a bunch of stuff.
Let's get into it. Let's get into it. So what do you think of Galaxy's Edge?
Oh my God, it is amazing. The immersion that you get just from walking in either side, because there's two entrances. It's just you're blown away, instant chills. You walk in and it's just, oh my God, this is Star Wars. I'm walking into Star Wars.
Yeah.
And they offer stuff like building your own lightsaber and making your own droid. Like, how much more Star Wars can you get? It's just a nerd's dream.
That's sick. Is it well, they've done a good job with Star Wars Land. Is it called Star Wars Land or is it called Galaxy's
It's
Edge?
called Galaxy's Edge.
Is
The
it a
official
big step
name
up
of
from
the
Star
planet is
Tours?
Batu.
Is it a big step up from Star Tours? Because I remember Star Tours, but it's
Well, it's completely different than Star Tours. Star
okay.
Tours, I still love that ride. There's a little DJ Rex poking up right there. He was the captain of Star Tours. But yeah, I love Star Tours. Star Tours is like its own set thing. It's like its own travel company. This, oh my God, it's like its own planet. You walk in and you're just in Star Wars. You're on Batu. It's insane. It's
How
so different that it's really hard to compare the two,
yeah.
but they're both great Star Wars things. But I mean, Galaxy's Edge is in a league of its own.
Now, what do you think of the cinema side of things after Disney's got a hold of it? Star Wars.
Oh, well, I like movies in general.
Yeah.
So, I mean, if I see one, I'll probably enjoy it. Like I enjoyed those films. I enjoyed sitting down and watching them. I There's nothing special to them. Like episode 3, I got an episode 3 signed poster right there. Um
Who signed it?
it's nothing like that. They're good.
Yeah.
I think they could have been better,
Mhm.
but yeah.
I liked Rogue One.
Oh, Rogue One was good, and Solo I thought was good too.
I didn't see Solo. I saw Rogue One. I've seen them all but Solo. Like I've seen every Marvel movie except Captain Marvel. I don't know why. Like I got to get around to seeing those. It just hasn't even registered in my brain. But did you like the prequels of Star Wars?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's an unpopular
Well,
opinion. I loved number 3.
number 3 is my favorite movie.
Okay, hold on.
It,
Your favorite movie out of all of them?
I think so. It's either
Dude.
that or Return of the Jedi.
I'm an Empire Strikes Back guy.
I get that. I get that. The original trilogy is amazing.
Yeah.
It's amazing. But
And
I just
you'd rank 3 over the original trilogy?
I think so.
Why? You gotta give me some more. Why would you do that?
Well, I love Obi-Wan Kenobi and the character development between him and Anakin, all that, seeing everything go down, literally. It's fantastic just to see the shift from the Jedi Order to what happens in the original trilogy. I just think being such a hardcore Star Wars fan, there's so much that ties in to Revenge of the Sith now, like the Clone Wars, Bad Batch, stuff like that. It just creates this level of awesomeness, I guess, that just rises that film slightly above the rest.
I, I personally, and now that I'm giving you a hard time about it, my favorite Star Wars content of all time was the animated Clone Wars. I think
Oh,
that
so good.
series did such a good job. Like, if you didn't watch that series, I don't really know if you have that much of a connection to Anakin as Darth Vader
Exactly.
or Obi-Wan. Like that series right there, to me, they could never have done it in a movie because it was just too
No,
long of a period.
way too long. Well, they did do 2 movies.
Yeah, no, they did do 2 movies, but they did the beginning and the end of it. And then they
Yeah,
had that whole, it's like, it's so weird. It's like he had this plan to do all of this before. It doesn't, like,
it was so weird.
right? But that show is so, I get so attached to Ahsoka. The last 3 episodes,
Dude,
it's taking place during Order 66.
I love
was
that.
like, what the fuck, man?
See, that's why I love Revenge of the Sith as a movie, because you think about everything that's happening. Like, you think about Clone Wars when you watch it. You think about all, like, Bad Batch, what happened to them. And it's just, it elevates that film.
It was the best prequel. I'll give you that.
It definitely.
Eh. What about Marvel Land? The Avengers. See, I don't know. I probably sound like very ignorant, not knowing the names of these
Well,
things.
no, you just don't know it. Well, that's why I'm here.
Yeah. What's the Avengers Academy? It's called, right?
It's called Avengers Campus.
That was close enough.
It was close. Yeah, it's a really good land. It's very, very solid. Like, it's just really small because it took over the area that once used to be the Bugs Life, which was already a small area. So they did really well with the area and the space that they had. I think the ride is great. It's like an interactive fun ride. Literally, you just do this the whole ride. So
I saw your web shooter review. I saw your web shooter toy review. So I was like very confused because I didn't know what the ride was like.
Yeah. I'll work on updating that then. But yeah, they sell things like the spider bot that's chilling right there. It's really, really immersive. That's what I love. It's not as big or anything at like close to Galaxy's Edge. Galaxy's Edge is just on another level. You're in Star Wars. This feels like you're still in the real world, but you're taking a step into seeing what superheroes are like.
Mm.
And what I personally love the most about Avengers Campus is the interactions with the characters. There's characters from every single timeline. Like, you could have the original Captain America meeting the new Falcon Captain America. You could have every single version of Loki be there at the same time. There's no like set timeline that it has to be in, unlike Galaxy's Edge, which is set in between Return of the Jedi and what's it called? Force Awakens. It's set in between there, and it's a certain little chunk of time that it has to follow. So it's not like you're gonna ever be able to see the Mandalorian or Luke Skywalker or Leia walking around, unlike Avengers Campus.
Oh, okay. So is the ride all the different timelines too, or is the ride a specific time?
In Galaxy's Edge?
No, in the Avengers Campus.
Avengers Campus, it's basically set in the current time. Like, when you're in there, whatever time you're in there, that's when it's set. Like, you're helping Spider-Man out by stopping the spider bots from taking over Avengers Campus.
Mm-hmm.
So you visit the different places in Avengers Campus and take down spider bots.
Okay. So the ride is the Avengers campus. I thought like the
Yes.
campus was something and the ride was okay.
Well,
Okay.
they're together.
Hmm. You're a big Disneyland fan anyway, before,
Yeah,
right?
huge.
So do you think that bringing in these two worlds of Star Wars and Marvel into Disneyland might kind of detract or distract from the Disney allure that's already there? You
No.
think it's just going to elevate it?
Oh, it only makes it better. It
Really?
only makes it better. Like some of my favorite parts of going to Disneyland are going to these two lands because I am a huge Marvel and Star Wars fan that being able to go into places like being able to go into Star Wars or being able to go meet the Avengers, that's just fantastic. Like, and I think it just like takes Marvel and Star Wars and adds the Disney touch to where you can be in it.
Mm. You went recently, and I
Yes.
was talking because you said the Disney touch, and I was talking to someone that just recently went like a month ago. I guess it wasn't too recent, but about a month ago, and they said it didn't really feel like Disney after the during the COVID experience. But this person might be totally out of their mind. What do you think? Was it back to that feeling of
Oh,
Disney again?
oh, when I went, there were no masks. Character, well, there's still no masks. But characters were walking around. They were greeting people. There were all the little shows. There were fireworks. I it was basically just a normal day at Disneyland.
Isn't that crazy how they can capture an entire feeling into a park?
Exact. Seriously.
You know when you're driving up down that street and you're seeing the little signs and you're like you're in the middle of Anaheim and then all of a
Yeah.
sudden you're just there. You're like, whoa, and then you're in it and you're walking around and you just they capture that feeling.
Exact. I don't know how they do it so well, but it. I don't even care. It's so great.
Yeah. Have you been to Disney World?
I have not. I really want to go.
To me, this just might be my opinion. To me, it's a little too much. It
Yeah,
it
yeah.
it kind of distracts. Like Disneyland, we're talking about that feeling. Disney World, it's kind of just so big that I don't know. I prefer Disneyland. It's like New York versus LA. New York, there's just so much stuff going on in this tiny little spot. Where Los Angeles, it's a little bit more spread out and you can experience different pockets. It's just there's a I think there's a type for each person. I am definitely a Disneyland guy.
Yeah, yeah, I think I am too, because you could hit everything in one day.
Totally.
You don't
Totally.
need to get a day per park at like Epcot or what are the other ones
I
there?
don't even know, dude. I went when I was 4, and I was all I remember is throwing my shoes off the balcony. I just remember dropping them off the back. Like I was like, what if I just dropped these? And then I did, and we were like 60 floors up at the hotel, and it just I don't know what happened to them. There's these pictures of me and my brother the first time we went to Disneyland, and I must have been 4, if even, and my brother was 7, and so he's with all the big the guys in the doll the characters like Winnie the Pooh, and they're
Yeah,
hugging and they're smiling, and it's me just standing there like 2 feet away like this. Because all you could see it in my eyes, like who the heck is this guy
what is
wearing the
happening?
skin of Winnie the Pooh, and why does he smell like corn nuts and beef jerky? Like I don't know, man. I never but I always loved the feeling of Disneyland. It's definitely the happiest place on earth for a reason.
Yeah. For me it's something else, man. Like I I can have just the toughest week. Like work kicks my ass, school is annoying, um, everything is just bad or going. And then I go to Disneyland one day. I'm mentally ready. I'm prepared. I'm good to go. It just makes me like feel better. It
Yeah.
makes me happy. It allows me to show all this. Like at school, I can't just go around with a lightsaber, but at Disneyland, they welcome that.
I mean, you could. It'd be
I
kind of
could.
weird, but you could.
Yeah.
Where are you working?
I work at a little restaurant called Eat Chow.
Oh, I've been there like a really
Yeah,
long time ago. Are you a
it's
waiter?
great. I am a host right now.
You're a host. Ooh.
Yeah.
I'd be pretty good at that. You'd be pretty good at that.
Thank you.
Yeah, you liking it?
I am. I have my third day actually tonight, and yeah, I think the people are great, the food is great, the atmosphere is great.
Mm,
It's a small little restaurant, so everything's really easy to like keep a watch on and keep contained.
mm.
So I just think it's a perfect workspace.
I find some people love customer service and other people hate it. Some
Yes.
people find joy in interacting with people. Other people feel like all people should be put into a volcano and destroyed. What is your opinion on customer
Oh,
service so far?
it depends on the person. Um, I I mean, I like talking to people. I'm good at like connecting with random strangers. Like
Yeah,
if I never knew you and we were walking past each other, I'd be like, "Hey, what's up?" And then you and I could have a little conversation or something.
yeah.
I but it just really depends on the person. I've had already some experiences of really like privileged and rude people that just want everything, and I just in my head I'm laughing and I'm like, this is not how the world works. And it's just it's funny. It really depends on the person, back to your question. But yeah.
It's interesting how we've kind of migrated to this bubble of communication because I love communicating with people. I love actually talking to people. I feel like it's walking around New York City was probably my favorite part of the trip back there. Not even going to the place. Like, of course, I loved getting ice cream every single day. It was amazing. But walking and just watching people is just
Oh,
fascinating and just see how different people do stuff. And it's interesting how we've migrated into this culture, or at least our age group growing up now is growing up with just the idea that you can just text each other, and I hate that. Like, I asked someone the other day, hey, can we get on a call soon, maybe one time, or meet up, because I have this idea that I want to run by you. And their response was, I'm sorry, I'm just super busy, can you just text?
oh
You're too busy to have a 15-minute phone call? Like, what
yeah,
are you doing in your life that's that busy?
I
What do you think about this?
I agree with you. I really love just having a conversation with someone. It's so different than texting because like you could text, "Hi, how are you?" or "Okay," and "okay" could mean 20,000 different things.
Yeah.
But if you say "okay" in like a conversation like we're having, it only have one meaning because you could hear the tone, you could hear the mood, everything. I just a person to person conversation is unmatched compared to a text. Yeah, a text is quick, it's fast, but this way you get to connect with people. You really get to like feel what the other person is thinking, and you can talk to them and relay your messages. Like if you and I were doing this over text right now, it'd be paragraphs.
That's the problem I get into with text is I think in paragraphs. Like I don't speak in sentences. I speak in like novels. So
Yeah,
when I try to write a text, it comes out like my autobiography is just being sent to everybody.
that's
Why,
really funny.
why did you start posting toy reviews? What drew you to that? Because it's a dangerous game getting into that social media
Oh,
uh,
definitely.
platform, especially when we're talking about communication and lack of the ability to communicate. So what drew you to start posting those?
Well, honestly, it was you. It was people like you, and I have this other guy who already was doing it. And you're like, I saw your live stream, and you should do this. And one day, before I go to bed, I do my best thinking. So I was just laying in bed, and I'm like, what if I did start? It doesn't have to be anything special. It could just be like an Instagram account. I do lives, and then I post them. I just did it. And I know I've been on a little bit of a lull recently. I went to Mexico and I haven't really had things to review, but soon there's going to be reviews on that, and then like my lightsaber and my droid, so I'm going to go back to some old stuff.
Do you look at the toys as a more technical thing, or do you use them to like play with?
Oh, I use them for what you're looking at right now.
Like a display?
I love display.
Mm.
Like I in Mexico, I bought this fish just for display. It was like $50, but they carved it right there. They made the fish, and I just love things on display.
Oh, that's pretty
And
cool.
think like that's why certain I got into Legos over the break or over the pandemic because it's just a fun thing to sit down and build. That's what you can see all right here. But I only really have the stuff out that's good on display. Like
Mm.
that, and that. They're not meant for playing with. They're meant for showing off.
I always sucked at Legos because I would get really impatient building them, or I would finish building them and I'd want to play with them, but then everyone was like, "No, we built a scene, leave it." I'm like, "But they're meant to be played with. Like, you want to move the guy and then shoot the other guy, and then he falls out of the jail." I'm like, "No!" And I was always the guy that came in with the airplane that I built out of like
Oh,
smashed into stuff.
yeah.
I wasn't a very fun person to play with. I'll tell you that.
Well,
Where
honestly, I used to be like you. I used to just have a tub of bricks, and when I got a set, I just played with them. But now I just like having things on display. I like showing off what I have.
mm, where do you see this going anywhere further? Like, where do you want to take this?
Oh, honestly, this is just a hobby,
Just a
really.
hobby?
I just like the reason why I have that channel is to just show people some cool stuff and hopefully make them want to go out and buy it if they really like the review or if they like the toy that I'm showing or thing or whatever.
Mm.
I I just don't really see this like taking off or doing anything big. I just like to do it, so I'm going to keep on doing it, and if it ends up going somewhere, then that's a whole different story, but I'm not like hoping for it to go anywhere.
Yeah, it's a good mentality to have. It's not expecting it, and if it does happen, all that is happening to you is positivity. Where I
Yeah.
run into the problem, I get into the mindset of going for perfection all the time, or just going for the result, and then when the result comes, there's not much satisfaction because
Yeah.
I was shooting for above it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a weird rabbit hole to be getting into,
It
but
really is.
senior year's coming up, senior
Oh
year in
yeah.
high school. What is your plan for after school?
Oh, that's a good question. Um, I'm not too sure just yet. I
Uh-huh.
think the most likely plan is that I'm gonna go to OCC, figure it all out, and by that time I'll be old enough I can work at Disneyland and I can do that. And after that, I'll figure it out and just see what happens. I don't have anything in mind like right now that I have to start working towards. Like I don't want to be a doctor. I
Mm.
don't want to be a surgeon. I don't need to start prepping for anything like that. I just want to go out and see what really calls to me.
Yeah, dude, I could totally see you working at freaking Disneyland. Like that seems like
I want to run the place.
really,
Yeah, that'd be fun. I could do that.
dude. I could totally see you doing that. That just seems like such a good environment for because I don't know. Very rarely do I meet someone with genuine electricity about something, and you are very passionate about Disneyland and Star Wars. And what got you into all the Star Wars, Marvel? What got you into that stuff?
Oh God, that's a tough question. I don't really know. I've always been like a movie fan. I always loved going out and watching movies, and I think just something about these movies just was great, and that it's something that I always wanted to be or do. Like you know when you're a little kid and you want to be a fireman or a superhero or something? Like that's that. It kind of brings me back to being like a little kid again.
Mm.
Watching Luke Skywalker go and defeat Darth Vader. It's just it's awesome.
Do you think the Marvel movies have done as good of a job at bringing that feeling as Star Wars did?
Yes, I do. I think they're just two different times. Like I always go the day before release to see the Marvel and Star Wars movies, and both of those are just really fun. Like they take you out of a stressful world. That's also what I like about Disneyland. they take you out of a stressful world and bring you into a new reality for 2 hours or however long the movie is, where you can live and fight alongside them and just watch and see how things happen. And then later on, you can go to Disneyland and live what you saw in the movie, or you can just be a kid again and not feel the stress of the world.
That's a really good point, because I was talking to someone the other day and they were saying they just don't make good movies anymore. And I personally am a huge movie fan, but I'm more of the film art side of things. Like I watched Rosemary's Baby last night. I watched The Hustler like a week ago. I was Lawrence of Arabia is my next one on the list. The Godfather is my favorite movie of all. Like
That's such a good movie.
I like the artsy abstract kind of movie, like Boogie Nights, like anything Paul Thomas Anderson. But I disagreed with him on that statement that they don't make good movies anymore, because I feel like it's just a different form of entertainment. And I never looked at it the way you just said. When you go to a Marvel movie, you're entering the Marvel universe with these guys, and you just fall right back into that pattern. It's like going on a ride at Disney or going to Disneyland. I never even thought of it that way. Do you think the shows do as good of a job as encapsulating it as the movies do?
Oh gosh, but Marvel shows or just Marvel
and Star Wars?
Oh, I think like this previous Loki show, my gosh, it was amazing. Every single week I'm like, let's go Loki, let's go. And I think it makes it almost a little better in my opinion, because they're longer. Like if you watch it in its entirety, Loki is like 6 hours or 7 hours or however long it ends up being, as opposed to a 2-hour film that you have to sit down and watch the whole thing of. Like this, it's just an hour increments. I mean, it's not the most amazing way, like bringing it once per week. I wish that they just released the series, but I think that these shows do a better job of telling the story of a specific character, because they have so much more time and more ability to grow these characters. Like in WandaVision, it was all about Wanda and Vision and her growth as a character. And there were 8 episodes, as opposed to like the half an hour that she got of screen time throughout all the movies that she was in.
Yeah. Do you think there's a reason they're picking the particular characters they're picking to make shows on?
I think they have a plan for everything. Like, have you watched Loki?
I haven't. That's the only one I haven't seen. I didn't like Falcon and Winter Soldier, so I was very hesitant to get into.
Loki's the best one.
Okay, I'll watch it.
Okay, I was gonna say something, but no, I'm not gonna say it since you haven't seen it. But yeah, the show is all set up for something that's gonna happen in the future. Like at the end, towards the end of Falcon and Winter Soldier, and then if you watch the Black Widow movie, they both set up for the future. And then if you watch WandaVision, it sets up for the future of the multiverse. And so does Loki. That's all I'm going to say. Sets up for the future of Phase 4. Like, because Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness is coming out, Spider-Man No Way Home, stuff like that. I think these shows are a great way of telling the story of a character and also continuing the timeline of the MCU.
Do you think it might get too big though?
It's already huge, man.
That's what I'm saying. Like I remember when Endgame came out, everyone was kind of like, that was great, but we need a break. Like it's a little, maybe not everyone, but a lot of us were like, it's just so much. I know I needed a break from Star Wars and Marvel for a little while after that. And now I'm kind of ready for movies again. COVID kind of hit perfectly there, now that I'm thinking about it. Maybe a little too, maybe conspiracy theory here we're getting on to.
No.
But for me, part of that Marvel feeling is being in a movie theater itself.
Yes.
You know, like going to see Endgame or going to see any of those Marvel movies, it's just, I feel it's too big to be encapsulated on a home screen. You know what I mean?
I definitely understand that. I think going to a movie theater is just so much better than watching a movie at home, because when I go the day before it is actually released. So every single person in there is a huge fan like I am. So when anything happens, we're all cheering and chanting, and it's just chills for everyone. Like that's what I think like Star Wars and Marvel is really about. It's about the community that comes behind them. It's not just about the movies, it's about the effect that they have on the people and the people have on other people.
I never even thought of that because it's so true. I mean, those two genres have created an entire universe of human beings that all can connect with each other based off of just these fake things people created.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you
that's
think? Sorry, go ahead. Go ahead.
That's probably the thing I love the most about these movies is being able to talk with my friends after about these movies and just being able to connect with them and make better bonds with people because of a film that I watched for 2 hours.
Because you're right. It's not, when I think about it, it's not just a movie. Like, and again, this is coming from someone that loves watching movies. I love movies for the art side of them. But a Marvel movie and a Star Wars movie is more like going on a ride. When you go to a movie theater, it's more, you get your popcorn and you get your drink and your can. You're sitting there and you're with everybody, and it's like going on a ride versus going, oh god damn it, I gotta go to a movie theater again. I haven't been to one in like a year, dude. I'm getting chills sitting here thinking about going to a theater and being like that.
Yeah, it's fun. I went just last week to see the Black Widow movie, and it was weird because I wanted that theater experience, but the place was empty. It was literally just me and my friend.
That's what I'm scared of with this whole streaming thing. Do you think that if they release movies on available to purchase or buy at the same time as they release it in theaters, that theater environment might kind of die off?
That's a really good thing. Oh God, I've never even thought about that. You have a great point. I think, in all honesty, I've seen people that are just like, I'm going to spend the $30 because I'm going to watch it with like 10 friends, and it end up being cheaper than going to a movie theater. Like, I don't like. I like it and I don't like it. I like it because it's convenient, but it also ruins the theater aspect.
That's
and
what
the
I'm
theater
saying.
is something else. Like, it just makes you feel like you're enjoying it more, honestly. If other people are like clapping and cheering alongside you, it feels like you're doing something worthwhile, or you're going to see something that's actually cool. Like, instead of just going into your living room and sitting on your couch and heating up some microwave popcorn and watching a movie.
I mean, that kind of goes to the same thing we were talking about earlier about migrating away from talking on the phone to text. In order to get to convenience and keep comfort, we're eliminating the ability to communicate and create communities and environments based off of real bond. Like, if sitting on your, as much as you can make friends online and all blah blah blah, you don't create that. At least I haven't ever created that bond that going to see a Star Wars. It's like going to a concert that only it's a small group, or it's like going to a concert is what it's like. Everyone is bonded over this mutual thing, and that's why I love the movie theater. But
yes,
I think that a lot of people that even say, "Oh, I love going to the movies," when they're sitting on the couch and like, "Yeah, but I could just buy it while I'm sitting here." It's like saying, "Oh, I love." Everyone said libraries will always be open. Libraries will always be a thing, and yeah, they are. But even people that love reading books, I love opening a book and reading it. Yeah. But I tend to just look it up on my phone and read it anyway.
Yeah,
I'm scared that even if we love it, we're gonna kind of fall into the pattern of comfort.
Yeah. Oh, that I don't want that day to come.
I don't want that day to come either, man. Where do you think this this network, like if you were fly on the wall in the Marvel or Disney in a Disney headquarters. Where do you think they're trying to go with this plan they have?
Well, I think Disney specifically, they're doing a better job at controlling this and trying to make you want to go to theaters more than other companies like HBO. It was this new Space Jam movie or whatever. It's free on HBO Max. Like with an AT&T subscription on your phone, you get free HBO Max. So you could just go and watch the movie for free, like from your phone. You never have to leave your house. And I think companies, by doing that, that's definitely ruining the theater aspect. Like Kong versus Godzilla, that movie, I don't know if I've ever seen it like on the title card on a movie theater.
That was the worst movie ever. I don't know why anyone ever watched that.
You didn't like it?
You liked it?
Yeah, I kind of liked it. They're right there.
But it
Yeah, that movie was different. That's just like an action movie. You know what you're getting into when you're gonna go watch it. It's just like a James Bond or a Fast and the Furious movie. Well, actually, no, you never know what you're gonna get from a Fast and the Furious movie,
except family.
except family.
Family.
But yeah, you're just gonna go in to see the giant things fight. So that's the mentality you go in. Anything more than that, you just can't ask for. Like you can't ask for a good story. You just want to ask for good action.
Mm.
But
Disney seems to have their hand in the pocket of everything. Like they're getting TV
Oh, yeah.
channels now. Where are they going with this?
I think, well, Disney is a company. They just want more and more money. They make so much money. It's ridiculous per day. Per day. Like they make more per day than billionaires make in their whole life. And
think of how many people work for Disney in some way or another. You know what I mean?
Everybody works for Disney.
Everybody works for Disney.
Every single person works for that. That's a little scary to think about, but every person works for Disney. They want to monopolize movies and theme parks and things like that. They want to get the most money possible from the most people possible. I think by doing what they're doing, by releasing like Disney Plus, they're allowing people who haven't really stepped into the world of Disney or Marvel or Disney at all to go in and see things at their own pace instead of like going to the movie theater. Oh, here's $10. Let me go sit down and watch the movie. It does create a level to bring in new people who wouldn't want to go to a theater or go pay $200 to go to Disneyland or something like that.
That's true. A lot of people that have never seen a Marvel movie felt excluded, and now they got Disney Plus, and I'm like, well, now I can see what it's all about.
Exactly.
And they can see if that's a world for them or not. As to me, the epitome of not cinema, of not good movies, isn't Marvel or Star Wars. But to me, the epitome of what a movie theater should feel like, all I can think of is Marvel or Star Wars.
Exactly.
I would love, and I think this probably will happen, if Disney created the first, maybe on Disneyland, the first Disney movie theater, the Disney Theater. And it's one of those ones that it has the best sound ever, but it's got some of those like effects too. Like if it's a burning building, like the room gets hot, or there's like a spray or it gets cold. Like I feel like they're gonna create something where the movie becomes kind of like a ride. You think that's gonna happen?
They have something like that at Universal Studios. I think it's Kung Fu Panda now. But you go in, you watch a movie for like 20 minutes, and you get to feel everything. Like at one point, you're walking through the forest, and like below and on the side of your chairs, you get like hit with branches, and you get sprayed with water and stuff like that. I think that part has been done before. Mm-hmm. It's not saying that it's a bad thing to do. It's just really hard to maintain, and it's really hard to integrate into place like every movie theater. If you wanted to do that with every movie theater, prices would skyrocket just to pay for the costs of all that stuff.
Yeah. Well, that's why I was thinking just the Disney theater. and like they only shoot like every week they shoot a different movie from their archives, or every day, and it's just a constant running theater. But I guess you need to change the effects for each.
Exactly. Yeah, that's another thing. I don't think it that I don't think the technology is available to where it's just quick and rapid to change all these effects to sync up with a movie. Like, what if it's a new movie and you're just playing it, but there's no way to have the effects if it's brand new for the first time ever?
That's true. That's true. I guess I didn't think of that. Maybe this was just like a pipe dream of mine.
Oh no, it's a good one. Like, it's definitely one that is going to be looked at in the future. I think you got a great idea. It's just right now it's hard to like come to life, and it's going to be hard for Disney to actually make it happen. But I have a feeling like it might happen in the future.
All right. Well, you've been a wonderful guest, and to wrap it up, I just want to ask you one more question, okay?
Yes, sir.
You could only watch one Marvel movie and one Star Wars movie for the rest of your life. What would those two be?
Gosh. I would have to watch Revenge of the Sith.
Okay.
I could over and over. I already know all the quotes from that movie. I could speak exclusively in those quotes. Marvel, that is a tough one. There's so many good ones to choose from, and it depends on if you only ever get to see the one movie. Is that what we're talking about? You only ever get to see the one movie? Or
yes.
Have I already seen the others?
No, you've already seen all. You are you right now. There's no magic involved. You're you right now, but you can only watch one Marvel movie again for the rest of your life.
Oh boy. Well, it's between three.
Okay, give me the three.
I really can't pick one above the other. The original Iron Man from 2008.
Okay.
That's just a great movie.
Great movie.
The Guardians of the Galaxy movie, the first one. I love that one. It's so fun and happy, and
the soundtrack is so good.
The soundtrack is amazing. That might be the one. But and then Thor Ragnarok.
If I were you and I was between those three, I feel like first time watching it, Iron Man was the best Marvel movie.
Yes.
But if you had to rewatch them over and over again, I feel like Guardians of the Galaxy would be the one to go with.
Yeah, just because it never really gets old. The music never gets old, and the characters are funny.
So funny. Chris Pratt is freaking and what's his Dave Bautista. And what's his name is Rocket Raccoon.
They're all so funny.
They're all Vin Diesel as Groot. Like, just such a great freaking.
It's a great cast.
Movie. Well, okay. Now I have another question. Okay, do you feel like Endgame was too much because everyone was just had like a little thing to say, and it was just too big of a crossover event, or did you think it?
I think that for the Avengers, it's only going up. Have you heard of Avengers Secret Wars?
No.
It's only going up, man. Avengers Secret Wars is where every single like variation. Oh God, you haven't seen Loki? No. This is kind of hard, but there's variants of people. Like the whole premise of the. I'm sorry, I'm gonna go into a little rabbit hole here. But
well, I know what the multiverse theory is. I mean, that's like there's an infinite amount of other versions of us. Person. Right.
Yeah, and so Marvel's Secret Wars, Avengers Secret Wars, is going to be superheroes and their variants fighting one guy and his variants. So everybody that was in Endgame is going to have like 10 variants of themselves fighting this guy with millions of variants of him.
It's crazy how they've set this up that it can just only get bigger and bigger and big because it's an infinite amount of variants, right?
Oh gosh, yes. And you got to watch Loki to really understand this, and then you'll know who the bad guy is too. It really sets up for the future, and it's only gonna get crazier.
Okay, on that note, ladies and gentlemen, thank you. You know what else is going to only get crazier and get bigger and bigger? The Homeroom Podcast. Make sure you subscribe. Drop a comment down below for someone that you think I should interview. You can check me out on Spotify. I'm available on there too. Check out Casey on the Quantum Corner on Instagram. He reviews toys. It's sick. And check out me on Instagram. I'm just my name, The Anti-Guru. Checking out.